Hey, what's happening? Jeff Pish here. Today, we're doing a chat. I have a very special guest, my dude, Tony Deangelis. Fantastic drummer, great friend. We've known each other for a long time, met through the drumming world. And I'm going to talk to Tony about some cool drum things that we're into and life things. And we'll see what happens. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. So we'll do some basics first.
Okay.
Where'd you grow up? Where are you from?
I grew up outside of Reading, Pennsylvania. I went from there to Boston for school. And from Boston I moved to Philly because I thought it was an hour from Reading, so the connections I had in Reading I could keep and still work there and teach there while getting into the scene in Philly.
Yeah, cool.
So
nice. What when did you start drumming?
age of 6.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's
right into lessons? Like you had a teacher, right?
My teacher was Erwin Chandler. My understanding, do you know him?
I know who he is, yeah.
Yeah. My understanding was he had just moved into town. He was looking for students, and when the other people my parents called for drum lessons, they said 6 is too young. But he was looking for students, so he took me on.
That's awesome.
But with him, by the age of 9, he had formed a trio with me, Dave Leader on bass, and his son Chris Chandler on piano. And we were called the TDC Trio.
Nice. Clever.
Yep.
Very
They even
clever.
made us like these blue shirts and vests to wear, and like, you know. But
That's awesome.
yeah, I made my first $10 on that gig.
Oh, hey now.
You know, we played churches, we played malls, we played this kid TV show out of Lancaster.
Oh,
Like, we were working.
that's
I
legit.
was 9 years old.
Wow.
You
How
know?
about it? Child labor. Love it.
So that would have been 79.
Wow.
And like one of the songs we did is the Safaris.
Oh, like the
What's that one song?
ones.
You know, that one song. You know?
Wipeout.
Yep,
Yes.
we did Wipeout.
Of course. Of course. If I never have to play that again, I'll be a happy man. Gosh, that was always
the
the
only
thing
time I
when
had
we
to
were
play it.
kids. Like, oh, can you play Wipeout? Can you play?
Yes, Wipeout.
Stop asking me to play Wipeout.
No, I cannot play Wipeout.
No.
It's too fast.
Yeah. Not enough of that.
Yeah. So.
That's awesome. So then you grew up played in the school system and all that stuff. Did
Yep.
marching band?
Marching band. I mean, it's interesting as a kid. You just play, and I think that's any student. But I guess I was good. I mean, like, I don't know. I was a freshman on snare drum in marching band,
Yeah.
which I think was not,
Not normal.
yeah.
That's dope.
You know. I mean, I was in jazz band.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like, to me, I was just
Playing.
I just played drums.
Yeah. That's cool.
You know. Yeah.
Nice.
So anything musical I did, like, you know.
What else do you do besides drumming? Like with side things, stuff for fun.
For fun, I don't know. Now, I've gotten into reading. So, you know, I exercise, which you know.
It's a good thing.
Like you know, when I go for walks, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, put on music. You know, when I do the core, you know, that's that's just painful.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I gotta keep the body in shape as best I can. You know,
Yeah.
Trying to stay healthy. I don't know. Simple life.
Yeah. Simple's good.
Yeah.
Simple's good.
You know.
And you're teaching now?
Yeah.
Correct?
I have
Yeah.
like a half a dozen students.
Yeah.
And I'd like more, but time
Yeah.
is the problem.
Yeah.
You know, I teach in a public school now, and so during the school year, I'm not around.
Yeah.
I need to make time to go to my lessons.
Right.
I need to plan ahead.
Yes.
All right, I teach Tuesday night, which means Monday, I need to have everything ready for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, right on.
Because I don't have time Tuesday night.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So, but, just busy during the year.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, I got time.
That's a little nice. Yeah. Got time.
So.
That's good. Excellent. So that's the basics.
Okay.
Easy, right?
So far.
Music stuff. Yeah, who are some of your favorite musicians to gig with?
To gig with?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. Anyone that will call me?
Yeah, dude, that's a great answer. I'm there. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't book my own gigs.
Yeah.
I'd rather, get hired by someone.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
I don't even know. Jason Newman.
Yeah.
I work with. His stuff is beautiful.
Yeah.
Ridiculously hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always loved to come and see you guys when I can, and
yeah,
it's great. It's great every time. Like there's
thank you.
Nothing that I've never seen you with him, even the ensemble itself. That's been like, that wasn't so good. It's always like, cool, and just it's very cerebral. It's very,
yes,
top level stuff. Yeah.
I don't know if he would say this, but I find his music to be stream of conscious.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He doesn't believe in double bar lines.
Right.
So I have no idea where the phrase ends.
Yes.
It is very and for me, I've learned songs by form.
Mm-hmm.
And so I need to see, and this is probably one of his forms, 8 bars, 6 bars, 7 bars, 8 bars, 8 bars, 5 bars,
Yeah.
The song is 43 measures long.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about?
That's not a tune. I think it's
where's the ABA?
Yeah.
Come on. I'll see a song if it's like 24 measures. It's like, thank gosh.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's I feel like that's kind of in your wheelhouse though too, because you're a very meticulous, mathematical minded person.
Yes.
And so that I feel like that it suits you.
It does, and I always wonder what other people think, and I don't ask because I'm afraid to know.
I understand.
There's certain responses I want, and if I don't get the right response,
yeah.
But with Jason, I can play more freer, in the sense of I will play a phrase, but it may not sound like I ended the phrase, because either I'm overlapping phrases, or the way I'm ending it is actually part of an idea that you don't realize ended the phrase, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it's wild, man.
Which all stems from playing over the bar line.
Right.
Yeah. Because I think over the bar line means you would you would resolve on beat 2 or 3 of the new phrase, or I could start the next phrase on measure 3 or 4 of the last measure.
Interesting. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's wild.
But you can hear it going in, or if you're listening. But most of that is me just listening to Jason playing, and just because he's, like he knows his stuff,
Right.
which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like playing it for the first time every time.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, he and I have been together for 5-10 years.
Cool.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
know
been
it was
a
that
while.
long. Yeah, cool.
It's been because I think his recording came out like 3 years ago,
Okay.
maybe 4.
Yeah.
And I think maybe before COVID.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And Jason Fraticelli on bass
Yeah.
is just
Monster.
he is a monster, and he's energetic,
Yeah.
and he's solid, and
Yeah.
he's secure,
Yeah.
and I mean he's like, you can count on him for being there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you guys have certainly built up the trust level for sure.
Yeah.
You all just know that
Yeah.
you'll be there. And
Something I've always I don't know, amaze myself, question, try to figure out. I get lost in Jason's song all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading. I get lost all the time. And yet I end their solo with them.
Yeah.
Every time. And so, like, what on earth are these two doing to signal the ending?
Right.
That I know.
That's what's happening.
Yeah. So I'm crediting it towards Jason, Jay Front and Jay New.
Yeah. Setting it up that.
Whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm serious. It's like, I'm on measure 30 and you're at measure 40. Like, but it's all about listening.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's huge. It's tough. I feel like especially these days, it's tough for a band or a combo like that to be the same players all the time.
Yes.
And
it's great that 90% of the time
it's the three of you.
It's the three of us.
And you guys know each other's playing.
Mm-hmm.
You trust each other as musicians.
Mm-hmm.
You're all at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different thing.
It is. And for me, when I'm doing something idea-wise or soloing, like, I know when I'm done or coming out of it, they're there.
Yeah.
And that's, which gives me more freedom to do what I want.
Yep.
Because I know they're counting through it, they're listening, they got the phrasing,
Yep.
and they're there. And playing with other musicians, I think everyone plays safer for that reason.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. Learning, what they're doing, even if you've played with them a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
A different configuration is you're approaching it differently.
Yeah.
But it's also learning what the other musicians want without asking them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is hard.
Yeah.
There's things that I remember growing up, and be playing with people. I was like, oh, you just need the experience. You just need the experience. And I was offended. It's like, I'm playing. I know the songs.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And I look back now, it's like things like we're talking about now.
Yep.
Like understanding what the piano player, the guitarist, the saxophone player is looking for from me.
Yes.
Because what the piano player is looking for and the sax player is looking for, and you can't figure that out unless you've played with 100 saxophonists over a bunch of years,
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is what they're talking about,
Yeah.
So I'm sorry,
I know we're all like young hotshots and like, oh, I can play this song, I can play that song, I can, do all the things.
Yeah.
And then you're in a real situation, and it's like, oh, well, this is different now, and now there's some learning to be done, and that's the experience and the years and working with different players and understanding how to listen to other players is a whole different bag. And when you can get to the point where the three of you guys are, and specifically, and just you all have that understanding, it just makes it a cool thing.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm sure being
together,
in it
together. Yeah.
Like I was. It's funny. This is one of the things I always talk to people about is going out and seeing other live performances, I have a hard time with that. I'm uncomfortable going to sit and watch someone play because I want to be in the chair.
Ah.
I don't want to be in the audience
Mhm.
ever. I never
Mhm.
want to.
Yeah.
So I'm. So this is a compliment to you and those guys as well. I'm very particular about who I'm going to go see. There's selfish reasoning in my head for why I'm going to go
Uh-huh.
see people that I see.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go, see that trio because I know Tony kills it, and I'm going to learn something, from a drumming standpoint from Tony by sitting here and
Thank
watching
you.
that. And I know also that I'm going to learn something from that entire trio from
Yeah.
a musical perspective, from
Yeah.
a big picture musical perspective,
Yeah.
and how things function.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, if I'm available, I'm going to come see that trio.
Yeah.
Other people, yes, I love all of my musician friends around the area, and I support them, and I applaud them for what they're doing, but I'm not always going to come out. Like I have a hard time sitting back. I can't just be, I'm just going to sit back, have a beer, and enjoy the night and hang
Mhm.
out. My brain just goes. Like, it's
Mhm.
just what happens.
Mhm.
Like, for you, what kind of experience, like, what's your vibe? I know you've come to see, some of my groups play,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you see other people play. Like, are you able to separate, your drumming musician, career guy from the guy who's just out to enjoy and have a beer and hang out?
I don't know now if when I go out and hear music, I necessarily want to play.
Mm-hmm.
When I come out and hear you with the sermon, there are times it's like, yeah, it'd be nice to play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping they don't ask because I can't do what Jeff is doing. But I don't know the songs and but I do know if I go out to hear music, it's intentional.
Yeah.
And so therefore I'm going to, like what I'm hearing. If I go and there's a band there and they're okay, I won't hear them.
Yeah. Yep. That makes sense.
Because it's just a band.
Yeah.
Not any disrespect to any, musicians. It's just not my thing.
Right. Yeah.
If the drummer in the group that I'm not digging the music is amazing, then I'll be listening to him.
Right.
But generally, and I don't know how other drummers are,
right?
But when I listen to a song, any song whatsoever, I hear the drums, then I hear the bass, then I hear the rest of the bands, and oh yeah, there's someone singing.
Dude, it's funny. I get into conversation with Megan all the time. She's like, "Oh, this song is so weird." Like, and because the first thing she hears is the lyrics, and I'm like, "What do you mean it's weird? What are you talking about? Like, that groove is great."
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Oh, right. You don't listen to lyrics." I was like, "No, I don't hear it."
And it's good to know that someone else is like
yeah.
me. Like, I have a friend, and we'll talk about music, and he'll start reciting, all the lyrics. I mean, from Yes to, I don't know, like, not him, but Justin Bieber. Like, current stuff, whatever.
Right, yeah.
Like, he hears the lyrics and he knows the lyrics.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. I'm lucky if I can tell you the name of the song.
Yeah.
And that's the hook. You know what I mean? That's what they're saying 10 times and
Yep. Yeah, that's wild.
Because I'm just, I'm zoned in, tuned in to what the drummer's doing.
Yeah.
And the feel and the approach. And, how they're getting that sound.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, because then I start looking at the drum set.
Right.
You know, what kind of set are they playing? Like, where are the tom sizes? You know, if I'm walking by, I might look at the drum heads, because, you know.
Because we're drum geeks. And that's
Well,
what we do.
I try not to be a drum geek. I really don't. I really don't like it. But, like, you know, when they're getting a certain sound,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, in my head, I get analytical.
Mm-hmm.
Volume of the snare in relationship to the bass drum,
Mm-hmm.
in relationship to how he hits the toms, to the way he or she looks,
Mm-hmm.
you know, their approach. I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Like Dan Monahan just looks so peaceful
Yeah.
behind the set.
Yeah.
And like, it's drummers like Dan or Eric Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
where you can say, "Oh yeah, I can do that. Look how simple that is." And then I go home and it's like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
They make
that's
it look
a whole other
easy.
thing.
It's a whole nother thing.
Yep.
But like, you know, they got it down.
Yeah.
We've talked about how drums respond,
Yep.
and you know, the way your set's going to respond to you is different than it will respond to me,
Mm-hmm.
because our approach is different.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you've tuned them in a way that fits you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you tune one drum higher or lower, you know, or you might have the one drum higher in pitch, I might have it lower.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I see that drum, I'm thinking lower, and it's higher, so now it's not responding the way I'm approaching it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And so, like, you know, watching, like I said, like these two drummers,
Yeah.
it's just, you know, I don't hear the rest of the band. I just hear them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Let's talk about the tuning thing again, because it's such an interesting thing, and I feel like drummers, there's so many ways you can approach tuning.
Mm-hmm.
There's guys and women that are pitch oriented and
Mm-hmm.
interval oriented,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, use those tension clock things
Mm-hmm.
so each lug is perfectly in true. And that
I got a story
holds
about that
you.
one.
Oh, excellent. And then there's other guys. I fall into the other guys category of more of a swashbuckling style. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm going in the room. All right, this is what my drums sound like when I set them up. Okay, let me try this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just do it till it sounds right to me.
Right.
I don't know what pitch this is. I don't know what pitch this is.
So that's the Buddy Rich attitude.
Ah, interesting.
I've heard someone say that. Someone asked Buddy Rich once, "How do you tune your drums?" And he said, "I tune them until they sound good."
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Yeah.
You know, which I respect, but for me,
Yeah.
you know, mathematical, analytical,
Yes.
being like
Meticulous
concrete.
and-
Like
yeah.
I need a target.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
you know, and so tuning a drum is hard.
Yeah.
It is. Watching my students try to tune a drum, you know, it's like, oh yeah, that's what it was like for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess, you know, playing this long and tuning this many drums, but it seems like such a simple concept.
Right.
Turn a lug, check inside to make sure they're all the same pitch, and move on. But
You would think. Well, it's funny. I forget who the drummer was. But they were talking about tuning and the fact that so many drummers, even great drummers, don't tune well.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest reason really is because we don't practice it.
Right.
You know, all the meticulous time we put in the studio with sticks in our hands, you know, working out this pattern or this feel or this lick and this chop, but we don't come down to the studio and, all right, I'm gonna take this drum head off. I'm gonna put this drum head on and tune it. Okay, do it again. Okay, do it again. We just don't. It's just not something that's done
Right.
all the time.
Like
so
we set it and go.
Yeah.
You know.
So there's, I come across so many drummers if I'm out and about that their drums sound bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you put a little time and some thought process into it, and whether you're a guy who is mathematical and wants to tune to a pitch and interval, or another guy just wants to hear it a certain way, put the time in before the gig. Like it's frustrating to me if I'm out and I hear somebody playing on bad sounding drums, even if they're a good player. We talk about that too. It's like a good player can make a bad drum set sound good, but that level could be even like, okay, so they're a great player, so the drums sound meh, but if they tuned them and like put time, made the drum sound good too, and you're a great player, like that just pushes it over the top. Yeah. So like describe like how you go into a gig, you're set up, you're ready to go, you're checking your drums, what happens next? Like how do you get yourself in tune?
It depends on where the drums are positioned. Like, if I'm in this corner, my floor tom is going to bounce off the wall and like just like in a dead sound. Yep. So I now need to retune my floor tom, and the others. Like it's just too close quarters. But generally, I try to keep the same, as you said, pitches consistent. Yeah. Because of, for me, consistency. Is who I am. It's my sound.
And that's another big point. Yeah. That's your sound.
Right, and we can get into that in a second. I might retune the high tom based on the position of where I am in the room for the same thing. Yeah. Like, but pitches. I tune my set to a B flat major 7.
It's ridiculous and awesome at the same time.
My floor tom is a B flat, middle tom is a D, high tom is an F, snare's an A flat.
Wow, yeah. Shoot, I never even thought about the snare being in the chord as it relates. Interesting.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's got to blend.
Yeah, that's correct.
And
yes.
Low pitches are hard for me, but I try to make the bass drum an A flat.
Okay.
An octave below, obviously.
Yeah. That's on an 18?
Yeah. Synonymous with, the snare.
Yeah.
Harmony. And if we can go a little deeper.
Yeah. Please do.
My cymbals have to match my drum set.
Wow. Cool. Yeah.
More so, the cymbals have to match each other.
Yes.
Like when I go buy a new cymbal, like if I'm buying a ride, I'm bringing a crash with me.
Oh, right on.
Good
for you.
Harmony.
Yep.
Not dissonance.
Yeah.
And so they have to work together.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of drummers don't think about that. I don't necessarily think about that when I'm going to buy a cymbal. I have a sound in mind that I want to get.
Yeah.
And then I go, I don't, very rare that I'll just order from online for a cymbal. You got to hear it.
Yeah, I would never buy online. I have students that do it and the cymbals are great.
Yeah.
That's all, credit to the cymbal company.
Right. There's that. Yeah.
That, I'm not sure how it is now, but I know it used to be that you could buy a Zildjian K, 16-inch, we'll say, and every 16-inch Zildjian K sounded a little different, which is great.
Right.
Yeah. Back in the 80s with the Pasties 505s, 2002s, I think.
Nice.
Yes.
Every
Every 505 sounded the same.
Yeah.
The benefit of that was listening to Stuart Copeland with the Police.
Yeah.
I can get that sound.
Exactly what. Yeah. Yeah.
But going with ordering a cymbal online, I don't know. It could be off just a microtone and not work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'll think about that when I'm going into a gig. Like I have a bunch of different cymbals,
Mm-hmm.
but then I'll choose certain like if I'm playing with the blues band, I'm gonna choose these two crashes
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know if I'm playing with the sermon and the organ thing, I'm gonna use this group of cymbals together.
Right.
And like I try to find
Mm-hmm.
that symbiosis
Mm-hmm.
of the cymbal setup
Mhm.
that works for the music
Yeah.
that's going to be played. And